Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
And big warm-up begins today. It's cool out there right now, but highs climb into the low 80s today. I'll show you why it will be so much hotter for the Easter weekend.
Liquor license lost after a series of violent cases at a Raleigh bar. The action taken to keep people there safe. And monitoring gas prices, the cost at the pump is trending down right now. A look at what you can expect to pay before hitting the roads for a long weekend. And feeding our neighbors. Hundreds of people will get an Easter meal today. Food is already packaged at the Durham Rescue Mission, and today, the first ever event from the Raleigh Rescue Mission. Everyone deserves to have a meal. Thanks for joining us this morning, this Friday, Good Friday morning. I'm Chris Lovingood. We do want to get things started with your weather forecast because things are going to look nice today, look nice tomorrow. Good weekend on deck.
Absolutely. As long as you don't mind it hot, temperatures are going to be well above normal, but it's very comfortable outside right now. This is a live look at North Hills. You can see the beautiful sunshine. Our temperature 57. We're starting to see our wind now coming out of the south, just at 5 miles per hour currently, but later this afternoon, that wind will pick up in speed and really start to push that warm air in. We should be gusting this afternoon out of the south at around 20 to 25 miles per hour, and that will, of course, help to influence that warm up. 53 in Southern Pines, 51 in Rocky Mounts. We're starting to see the temperatures climbing on up into the 50s. We had some widespread 40s this morning. Generally, our temperatures are 5 to 10 degrees warmer than they were this time yesterday. This afternoon should be about 10 degrees warmer as we climb into the low 80s. We'll talk about when we could see a record high over the weekend coming up. Michelle?
Thanks, Elizabeth. A nice sunny drive to start your Friday morning. This is a live look I-40 at Glenwood Avenue. Not seeing any delays on Glenwood. I'm showing you this because there is a crash on Glenwood. I'll show you exactly where this is. You can see two crash icons on the map this morning. This first crash here is Glenwood Avenue near Ebenezer Church Road. Here's 540, so that's where that camera is. So that camera is just beyond that crash. We're not seeing any delays from that, which is some good news, but of course I will continue to track that. The other crash we're talking about is this one. They're calling this a serious crash. Timber Drive near Aversboro Road. That's been there for a while this morning. Working to get more details on that one as well. I do have some drive times for you if you are driving in and around Durham. So far this morning, it's looking great. Only a 1-minute delay coming in on 98 from NC 50. As always, listen to us anywhere on the radio 101.5 HD3.
Just a heads up, drivers, gas prices are trending downward as you head out of town for the Easter holiday, and North Carolina is well below the national average. WRAL's Sean Gallagher is in Cary. And Sean, typically we see gas prices go up this time of year.
Yeah, that's right, Chris. Around April 10th is the average for the highest gas prices during the season because of that switch over to the summer blend that's already happened. But Gas Buddy tells me that that has already passed. So what you pay at the pump right now might be as good as it gets for a while.
Your next pit stop may not be as painful at the pump across the triangle. The average price of gas across the country is at $3.16 a gallon. But here in North Carolina, that's more than 30 cents cheaper at $2.85 a gallon. Gas Buddy attributes the lower cost to trade war talks actually pushing global oil prices down, though those same talks could change things down the road.
There's a lot of uncertainty surrounding exactly what U.S. trade policy will look like this summer. Gas prices are largely going to reflect whatever the policy is, whether it's tariffs that could lower prices or less tariffs or a pause, which could actually raise prices because as go the economy, as go gas prices.
And if you are planning on hitting the road this weekend, take extra care. AAA is expecting more impaired drivers could be on the roadway this weekend. And if you are somebody who happens to partake, make sure you get a ride home. In Cary, Sean Gallagher, WRAL News.
A Raleigh nightclub where gunfire struck cars over the weekend lost its liquor license. Alcohol law enforcement suspended Star Bar's liquor license, and police say more than 20 shots were fired in the bar's parking lot early Sunday morning. They say the intended target of the shooting was a rapper performing at that venue. Police say they have been called to the nightclub 93 times over the last year. And this morning, a memorial is growing outside the Student Union at Florida State University. Students and faculty and staff are coming together after yesterday's deadly shooting. 2 people were killed and 6 others were injured. The suspected shooter is 20-year-old Phoenix Eichner. He's in the hospital. And Eichner, he's the son of a sheriff's deputy there in Leon County, Florida. The sheriff's office says a deputy's handgun was used in the shooting. Some parts of FSU's campus are still considered crime scenes. University President Richard McCullough visited some of the wounded students in the hospital, and he says the university's focus right now He's taking care of people. Today, hundreds of people in Raleigh will get an Easter meal today, and these are people who might not get one otherwise. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey shares how Raleigh Rescue Mission is preparing for its first ever Easter meal distribution.
We often think about meal giveaways and food insecurity during the holidays, but families in need food year-round. That's why the Raleigh Rescue Mission is delivering more than 1,000 meals at this church on Clifton Street here in Raleigh. Today is the first time they're delivering meals for Easter. You're watching video of one of their Christmas meal deliveries a few years ago. Nearly 90,000 people in Wake County live in poverty, according to government data. More than 1,600 meals will be delivered today across the area. We spoke with Carla Tuttle from the Rescue Mission. She says they're adding this extra delivery day because more families need help.
In 2022, when I joined the team, we were delivering at Thanksgiving and Christmas about 1,400 meals. In this past holiday season, the need has increased to well over 1,600.
And Tuttle says they're expecting to serve even more families over the next few months as inflation is expected to increase. They're building a new facility in Knightdale that could more than triple their impact. That's set to open next fall. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News in Raleigh.
Right now, volunteers with Durham Rescue Mission are preparing the annual Easter community dinner. And starting at noon, they'll serve food, have a grocery and clothing giveaway, and give Easter baskets to children. This event is held at the mission's men's campus on East Main Street. In South Carolina, a bus crash led to one person being killed and several students being put in critical condition. This happened on I-77 south of Charlotte yesterday, and investigators say the bus blew a tire and even overturned. Now, 35 kids and 2 adults were on board when this happened, and reporters say helicopters were called in to take patients to the hospital. The middle school students were returning home from a field trip when this happened. A teenager was arrested for a murder in Cumberland County. Kewan Parker is accused of killing 33-year-old Brittany Carmichael. Carmichael was killed in Stedman back in November. A Chatham County man was arrested in a human trafficking case involving a child. 22-year-old Edwin Silva Badillo is facing kidnapping and human trafficking charges. Investigators say the child's mother reported them missing, and she was in contact with the suspect. Investigators say Silva Badillo made 3 separate trips from Carborough to Siler City to pick up the child. And police say that a 10-year-old California girl is back with her family after a man kidnapped her. And this is a man she reportedly met through a video game. Investigators say that she communicated with the man over the game Roblox and the chat app Discord. Deputies found her 300 miles away. They say 27-year-old Matthew Macatuno Naval was with the girl in this car. In a shopping center parking lot is where this happened. He's in jail on charges of kidnapping and sex crimes with a child. Authorities urge parents to pay attention to children's online activity. And a Raleigh family wants justice for this guy right here. This is Henry the cat. He was shot near the Privet family's home, and he's not doing well. Henry managed to crawl back to the family's garage, and they got him help as soon as they found him there. Henry has trauma, to his back, legs, and claws. Damage from the bullet may require long-term treatment.
Close to $6,000 that we spent. And at that point, we had to bring him home because there was no way that we could afford, an $8,000, $10,000 surgery on top of what we had already spent.
Investigators are looking for the person who shot Henry. The Privet family says they are praying for his recovery, and you can visit WRAL.com to find out more about Henry and how you can help. Harnett County could stop adding fluoride to its water supply. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says fluoride has no systemic advantages. Guidance from the CDC says having fluoride in community water reduces cavities and oral health disparities.
Fluoride is a public health additive. There's nothing about fluoride that affects our water quality process.
Some southern Wake County residents have water service from Harnett County, and county commissioners will continue their conversations about water additives this coming Monday. An event showed off the tools North Carolina uses to help people during emergencies. Look at this. The State Emergency Management Division showcased their equipment yesterday, and this event focused on the importance of teamwork during difficult times like natural disasters.
This provides opportunities for our elected officials to learn about that so that they can see where there may be gaps in response capacity in their home communities as well as the state overall, so that we can work together to find solutions to those resource needs.
This event shows how all rescue workers come together to reach North Carolinians during their time of need. Your time is 8:10 this morning. Navigating tariffs. Local business leaders share recent importing experiences, why some are concerned and others say they hope for local demand to go up. And the Tar Heel 10-miler. Chapel Hill students and alumni will race tomorrow. The annual tradition and your other out and about best bets for this Easter weekend.
Right now, our wind is fairly calm, but this afternoon it starts to get gusty, 20 to 25 miles per hour. All that wind is coming out of the south, and that's what's going to bring us such a warm weekend. I'll show you how close we'll be to record highs. $8:13. It looks like an absolutely beautiful holiday weekend, starting with today with nice mild conditions and lasting all weekend. If you're planning to head down to the beach, it looks great. The water temperature is still on the cool side, mainly in the 60s, and that's where the air is going to be coming from. So it will be noticeably cooler right on the beaches than it will be inland. Inland temperatures will be, in the mid to upper 80s. But at Wrightsville Beach, 75 Saturday, Emerald Isle 72, and Nags Head 77. Sunday, same story, looking at 80 in Ocracoke, 75 at Topsail. Ocean Isle 75. Beautiful sunshine all weekend long. Mountain forecast actually looks a little bit warmer, even with the elevation. Just interior temperatures are going to be a lot warmer. 87 for the high in Asheville on Saturday, 79 in Boone. And of course, we'll see similar conditions again on Sunday. For us, we'll be very warm. I'll show you how close we could be to record highs coming up. Michelle?
All right, thanks, Elizabeth. Taking you out on the roads this morning. It's busy out there. We're not seeing any delays, though, so far this morning. I-40 at Wade Avenue. A lot of cars on the road, a lot of people heading maybe to their holiday destinations this weekend. We are tracking a handful of crashes this morning. You can see them indicated on the map here. The first one, this one just popped up. This is a serious crash, Rock Quarry Road near Sunnybrook Road. That just popped up within the past 10 minutes or so. So I'm going to work to get more information on that one. Another crash we're also following, Glenwood Avenue at Ebenezer Church Road. That's been there for a little while. Haven't seen any delays come from that one. And the third crash, this one is down near Garner. Serious crash, Timber Drive near Aversboro Road. Again, not seeing any delays from any of these crashes. As soon as I have any more information on them, I will let you know. If you were heading in or out of Durham this morning, this is a look at the drive times. Only a 1-minute delay coming in on 98 from NC 50. As always, tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Sky 5 flew over Duke University as students marched in protest of recent Trump administration actions. And it was one of dozens of protests planned across the country. Students want to show solidarity with Harvard in that school's fight with the Trump administration. The Department of Homeland Security is threatening to strip Harvard of its eligibility to host international students. Demonstrators are seeking protections for international students, faculty, and staff, too. They also are urging Duke to join a lawsuit against the Trump administration. Local business owners, they're feeling the impact of the president's tariffs. And a roundtable discussion was held at Trophy Brewing Company yesterday, where local business owners expressed uncertainty and even worry about how the tariffs will affect their businesses and their prices. Democratic Congresswoman Deborah Ross organized this talk, and she called on Congress to reassert their authority over tariff policy.
It is Congress's job to enact tariffs or to remove tariffs unless there is a national emergency. And the Trump administration has concocted a national emergency in order to do this.
The Trump administration says tariffs are needed to combat U.S. national security threats. We also spoke with the owner of a local steel business, and she is optimistic tariffs could drive demand for products made in this country.
Because of the demand, I'm hoping it pushes more to do it so that we can get, availability quicker, and also that it does drive the prices down versus going up.
A 90-day pause is in place for most of President Trump's proposed tariffs.
And Jeff Hogan in the WRAL Live Center. U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance is in Rome, Italy right now, getting off the plane right there this morning with his family there for Easter. holiday and to meet with Georgia Prime Minister Georgia Maloney just a day after she was at the White House. Now, Maloney has positioned herself as a bridge between the U.S. and Europe. Vance plans to attend Easter weekend events at the Vatican, also scheduled to meet with the Vatican Secretary of State, number 2 in charge there. No meeting with Pope Francis was announced. Vice President Vance also plans a visit to India, and he will discuss shared economic and geopolitical priorities with leaders in both of those countries.
Drake is expanding his legal response to Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us. The Canadian rapper now says he was defamed. In the song, Lamar claims that Drake is a, quote, certified pedophile, end quote. And that's an allegation that Drake strongly denies. At the Grammys, snippets of the song were played as Lamar received awards. And during the Super Bowl halftime show, Lamar skipped over the certified pedophile line. Instead, he rapped another line where he accused Drake of targeting young girls. The lawsuit is in its early stages. You may want to be starting your garden maybe right about now. Temperature's right. And just a heads up, if you are going to do that, officials want you to make sure that you survey before you dig. April is National Safe Digging Month. If you are planning to do landscaping or start planting, you gotta be cautious. In fact, take extra safety precautions before getting started. No matter how big or small the job is, being prepared could keep you safe.
Anytime you're moving dirt, you should call 811. To be on the safe side, it's also North Carolina state law.
You're asked to dial 811 3 business days before starting your project, and that way a technician has time to mark your lines. Families have plenty of opportunities for fun during the Easter holiday weekend in the Triangle, so let's take a look at WRAL's Out and About. Raleigh's 15th annual Q-Grass Festival is happening tomorrow from noon to 6 on Fayetteville Street. You can enjoy live music and mouth-watering barbecue. The family-friendly event is free, just so you know, and there will also be a special kids zones available with crafts, games, and more fun. The Tar Heel 10-miler returns to Chapel Hill tomorrow. Thousands of runners will participate in the race. It showcases downtown Chapel Hill, the UNC campus, and the nearby historic neighborhoods. It gets started at 7:30 a.m. And while you're there, say hi to Jeff Hogan. He's going to be there as the event's MC. WRAL is a proud partner of this event. And our Raleigh Easter event and egg hunt guide lists events all across the area. It includes egg hunts, egg maze races, and opportunities to meet the Easter Bunny. You can get more information on WRAL.com. Just search Out and About. And if you are going to go outside this weekend, I mean, it's really the weekend to do it, Elizabeth. You have some sunshine, but it is going to be hot.
It is. Temperatures are going to climb into the upper 80s both Saturday and Sunday. As we've seen the week kind of marching on, we've gotten new information in. It looked like Sunday might be a little cooler, and now it looks like it's just going to be as hot as Saturday. So Fayetteville, Raleigh, Apex, Chapel Hill, all looking beautiful. Chapel Hill's courtesy of Top of the Hill Restaurant. Gorgeous sunshine out there. High pressure tends to bring us sunshine. High pressure systems have sinking air. It tends to dry out the atmosphere, and we don't see a lot of rain associated with the high. High pressure systems also rotate clockwise, and so depending on the position of high, it can help to either warm us up or cool us down. That high, when it was over here, it was cooling us down. Now that it's shifting eastward, we're seeing that warmth coming up, and there's a warm front, of course, associated there. There's also a cold front. This cold front is going to end up being stalled here across parts of the Midwest because this high pressure system isn't going to move over the weekend. That may be good for us if you like warm, dry weather, but for folks from Dallas up to Chicago, this is the second or third time that we've seen this pattern set up this spring, and that means some heavy rain and a chance of multiple days of severe storms from Chicago down toward Dallas. That would be today, and then again tomorrow, and most likely again on Sunday. Then the pattern breaks down and that front moves through, but we don't see it arriving here until Tuesday. At that point, we have the potential for some light rain, likely to be maybe a quarter to a half an inch. But in the meantime, while that front is stalled, there could be 5 to 10 inches of rain across parts of the Midwest. For us, it's just a 30% chance Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, as that front moves in and stalls out. That front isn't likely to be too much of a significant impact maker for us. We'll keep our eye on it. Some showers and thunderstorms. Should be a fairly weak front by the time it arrives here. Easter Sunday planner early. If you're headed out for a sunrise service, temperatures should be in the low to mid 60s. And then our high of 88 will happen around the middle of the afternoon. And we'll see lots of sunshine. If we hit that 88, that means that we will end up being the third warmest. This will end up being the third warmest Easter on record record at RDU. Whew. So yeah, we don't normally see temperatures this warm at this time of year. We're still in the 80s though, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I'll show you how many more highs in the 80s we may tack on to that next week.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Another look at traffic for you at 8:22 on your Friday morning. This is a live look. US 70 at Cheek Road up in Durham. Things flowing smoothly up there. We are tracking 2 crashes. There was a crash on Glenwood Avenue. That one actually just cleared, which is some good news. But the 2 crashes that we are still monitoring this morning is this one. Serious crash on Rock Quarry Road near Sunnybrook Road. Again, really not seeing any major backups or delays from this, so we're going to keep an eye on that. And the second crash is this one down here near Garner. Serious near Timber Drive and Aversboro Road. Working to get more information on both of these crashes. They don't seem to be causing any traffic delays for your morning commute, which is some good news. Taking a look at your drive times. The only delay we're seeing is coming in US 1 south from Wake Forest. That'll take you about 2 minutes this morning. Remember, listen to us anywhere in the Triangle, 101.5 HD3.
Take us with you on the go. Thanks, Michelle. Fuel forecast. Drivers are catching a break at the gas pumps ahead of Easter weekend. The prices you can expect to pay before you fill up. And U.S. strikes Yemen. The U.S. military destroyed a fuel port in Yemen, killing dozens of people. An explanation for why this is happening. That's just ahead.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning. Your time is 8:26. I'm Chris Lovingood. Let's get you a preview of your weekend Easter forecast with meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner.
It's going to be a warm one. We're starting bright and beautiful this morning here with a live look at Chapel Hill, courtesy of Top of the Hill Restaurant. It's going to be a gorgeous day today. 74 degrees at lunchtime. If you have the opportunity to be out, I know a lot of folks are off today. Maybe you're planning to do some yard work. Again, those temperatures will climb into the mid-70s at lunchtime. Low 80s this afternoon, but our humidity stays low. It should be pretty comfortable out there. Of course, looking at the holiday weekend, it is going to be hot. Highs will be in the upper 80s both Saturday and Sunday. Michelle?
All right, thanks, Elizabeth. And taking you out on the roads this morning, a beautiful drive, I-40 at Wade Avenue. Not seeing any delays so far this morning. We are tracking 2 crashes around the Triangle. The first crash, or I should say 1, because 1 just cleared. So this crash here, the only crash we're monitoring, Rock Quarry Road near Sunnybrook Road. That's been there for a little while, working to get more details to see maybe how many people were involved or if anybody was hurt in that. If you were on the road, listen to us on the radio anywhere, 101.5 HD3.
Zebulon's town manager has stepped down. Gilbert Todd Jr. made that announcement last night during a Board of Commissioners work session. He claims he was put in a position where he was expected to take action he believes is unethical and inappropriate. Today, local families in need will be fed for the Easter holiday. This is something that's going to be happening across our area, including in Durham at the Durham Rescue Mission, where those efforts have been underway for quite some time. And for the first time today, the Raleigh Rescue Mission will also distribute Easter meals. Next on Fox 50, the prices that you can expect to see at the gas pump ahead of Easter weekend. And up next on Today, is this the best time to use price tracking apps? We'll talk a little bit about tips to save money.
Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
The big warm-up starts today. We'll climb on into the low 80s, but it doesn't stop there. I'll show you why southerly wind will warm us up into the upper 80s through the weekend.
Good on gas. Prices are dropping at gas stations locally. What you can expect if you're planning on driving to your holiday weekend destination. And Easter meals for thousands of people in the Triangle. We're going to show you the efforts happening in Raleigh and Durham right now to feed people who would otherwise go without. Thanks so much for waking up with us here on this Good Friday on WRAL News and Fox 50. I am Chris Lovingood. I tell you what, today is the day you want to get outside this weekend. Really, people getting a jump on that already at Southern Pines, Elizabeth.
They are. It's going to be a beautiful weekend. A lot of people are off today, of course. And this is Longleaf Golf and Family Club. And it looks like they're having an event. Lots of people out on the putting green. Looks like they're warming up. Got a tent set up there. So it should be beautiful. Right now, it is cool out there. Mostly 50s across our area. Our wind is light out of the south right now, but the wind will really pick up this afternoon. gusting 20 to 25 miles per hour, and that's going to really force a lot of the warmth into our area. That's why it'll be so much warmer for Saturday and Sunday. 53 Southern Pines right now, 51 in Rocky Mount, 52 in Roxborough, 57 in Durham. So beginning that warming process. Our temperatures are, on either side of 5 to 10 degrees warmer than they were this time yesterday. And our high temperature later on today around 83 degrees. We're going to deal with some very warm temperatures. I'll show you what could help to bring those temperatures back down coming up. Michelle?
Thanks, Elizabeth. It's been a very smooth ride so far all morning long this morning, really. This is a live look. I-40 at Wade Avenue. We have barely seen any delays so far. We have seen a couple of crashes, but a lot of those have started to clear up. Right now, we are only tracking one crash. This is exactly where it is. It's Rock Quarry Road near Sunnybrook Road. That has been there for quite a while. We have not seen any delays from that at all this morning. I'm still working to get more details on how many people were involved in that, if anybody was hurt in that. As soon as I have those details, I will let you know. But this is a live look at some drive times. Only a 1-minute delay coming in on 98 from NC 50. As always, listen to us anywhere on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Heads up, drivers going out of town for Easter weekend. Gas prices are trending downward. WRAL's Sean Gallagher joins us live from Cary. Sean, not to brag, but I filled up the other day for less than $3 a gallon. Just saying.
Hey, that's not a brag. That's something you should be proud of, Chris. And, Easter weekend, kind of the kickoff of the summer travel season. Not as many. It's almost a test run. And when people go to hit the pump, they might be as lucky as you, Chris, and get some good deals as they fill up.
If you're filling up in Wake County, gas prices are averaging $2.91 a gallon right now. Gas Buddy says there are a mix of reasons it remains below $3 a gallon here, including trade war talks actually pushing global oil prices down. As a result, gas is 54 cents cheaper right now than it was this time last year. And the most expensive gas may already be behind us. Gas Buddy tells me April 10th is usually the day where gas is the most expensive during the season.
You have an intersection of rising demand as Americans start traveling and spring break occurs. Also, because the switchover from winter to summer gasoline happens in March, and that basically wraps up by mid-April. And that's also the peak of refinery maintenance season. Now, as we progress towards May, refineries are finishing up maintenance and they're able to boost supply. And that intersection of those three things is usually what leads prices to peak in April before typically starting to cool off for the summer driving season.
And if you are hitting the road this weekend, take extra care on the roads. AAA is expecting more impaired drivers on the roadway. And if you are somebody who happens to partake, just make sure you get a safe ride home. In Cary, Sean Gallagher, WRAL News.
AAA released new gas prices numbers this morning. The statewide average price for a gallon is $2.85. And Raleigh, the average is $2.90. Meanwhile, nationwide, we're talking about an average of $3.16. I want to show you this, a memorial growing on Florida State University's campus after 2 people were killed and 6 people were injured during a deadly shooting. Investigators say the suspected shooter is 20-year-old Phoenix Eichner, and he's in the hospital this morning. He's also the son of a sheriff's deputy in the county where this happened. The sheriff's office says a deputy's handgun was used in the shooting, and the 2 men who died were not students at the university. The 6 people who are injured are expected to recover. A Raleigh nightclub where gunfire hit several cars lost its liquor license. Alcohol law enforcement suspended Star Bar's liquor license, and police say more than 20 shots were fired in the bar's parking lot early Sunday morning. They say the intended target of the shooting was a rapper performing at that venue. Police say they have been called to that nightclub on Trawick Road 93 times over the last year. And new this morning, Zebulon's town manager stepped down after less than 4 months on the job. Gilbert Todd Jr. made that announcement last night during a Board of Commissioners work session. In a prepared statement, he says that he made that decision because of what he calls a, quote, serious personnel matter. He says he was put in a position where he was expected to take action that he believes is unethical and inappropriate. But he didn't elaborate further on that claim. Today, for the first time, the Raleigh Rescue Mission will deliver Easter meals to families who really need them. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey joins us live from Raleigh. And Kelsey, they plan to hand out more than 1,000 meals this morning. It's awesome.
Yes, Chris, and volunteers just arrived here at this church on Clifton Street here in Raleigh about 15 minutes ago, so you can see them preparing to give away those meals. We often think about meal giveaways and food insecurity during the holidays, but families in need food year-round. So that's why the Raleigh Rescue Mission is delivering more than 1,000 meals today. Now, this will be their first time delivering meals for Easter. We'll show you some video of one of their Christmas meal deliveries a few years ago. Nearly 90,000 people in Wake County live in poverty, according to government data. More than 1,600 meals will be delivered today across the area. We spoke with Carla Tuttle from the Rescue Mission. She says they're adding this extra delivery day because more families need help.
In 2022, when I joined the team, we were delivering at Thanksgiving and Christmas about 1,400 meals. In this past holiday season, the need has increased to well over 1,600.
So 1,600 is about the number of meals that they're expecting to deliver today. And Tuttle says that they're preparing to help even more people in the coming months as we're expecting for inflation to increase. Right now, they're working on building a new facility in Knightdale that could more than quadruple their outreach. That's set to open next fall. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
Meanwhile, volunteers with the Durham Rescue Mission are preparing the annual Easter community dinner. Starting at noon, they'll serve food, have a grocery and clothing giveaway, and give Easter baskets to children. This event is held at the mission's men's campus on East Main Street. Most of the people arrested during a protest on North Carolina Central's campus are affiliated with the school. University leadership says 4 of the 5 people arrested yesterday have ties to the schools. The arrest warrants don't make it clear, though, whether these people are students, staff, or visitors to campus. The university says a group not affiliated with the school organized the event. The group was rallying for more on-campus housing and better living conditions.
Right now in the WRAL Live Center, an update from Puerto Rico, where authorities say nearly 98% of the customers there have power back on this morning. The island was hit with a power outage starting Wednesday afternoon. More than 1.4 million customers were without power at the height of the storm. The power company said a transmission failed, and that caused generators across the island to shut down. It had even left more than 400,000 people without water at the time. This was the second island-wide blackout to hit Puerto Rico in less than 4 months. The last time was New Year's Eve.
All right, thank you, Renee. This morning, the number of people killed during U.S. airstrikes at an oil port in Yemen, it's rising. Houthi leadership says at least 38 people were killed and more than 100 others were wounded. The United States has tried to disrupt Houthi weapons smuggling and revenue sources for months with strikes. Houthi rebels have repeatedly attacked commercial ships in the Red Sea. Severe storms hit parts of Nebraska, including tornadoes. What you're seeing right here was taken near Omaha. Do you see that right there in the distance? The National Weather Service says at least 11 tornadoes touched down between Iowa and Nebraska yesterday. The storms brought down the trees and the power lines, and no injuries were reported. Maryland Senator Chris Van Hollen confirmed that he did meet with Kilmar Abrego Garcia. He's the man mistakenly deported to El Salvador. The senator posted a photo on X last night of their meeting. He says he called Abrego Garcia's wife to send along a message of love from her husband. Van Hollen says that he'll provide an update on their meeting when he returns to the United States. He's advocating for Abrego Garcia's release. The stock market is closed for Good Friday. Meanwhile, U.S. allies are visiting D.C. to try to reach tariff deals with President Trump. Trump visited with Prime Minister of Italy yesterday to talk about tariffs. That meeting happened after a negotiating session between the United States and Japan. As for the markets, the Dow dropped for 2 days after a warning from the Federal Reserve Chair. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says the United States could move on from efforts to reach a Ukraine-Russia peace deal. Rubio made the comments this morning as he left for France. And Rubio told reporters the United States is, quote, not going to continue this for weeks and months on end, quote. He says the United States will step away if progress is not made very soon. He also said the war between Ukraine and Russia is, quote, not our war. The Senate wants to reduce the amount that our state pays for advanced placement tests. Right now, the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction covers the entire $99 fee for AP exams. The budget proposal would cut $14 million from the overall expenditure. The remaining $4.7 million would be used for economically disadvantaged students. Republicans have justified various budget cuts as a way to get rid of what they see as unnecessary government spending. Your time is 8:40 this morning. An intense takeoff. Over 100 passengers evacuated after an emergency landing. The reason the plane had to turn around abruptly. Plus hundreds of acres burned. The Bee Rock Creek fire is not slowing down in western North Carolina. We're going to show you more of the efforts from firefighters to try to put the flames out. And a good morning to our friends in Sanford. Folks, it's going to be a beautiful Easter weekend. And to give you a closer look at what you can expect, meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner will tell us how high the temperatures will get.
.44. I just can't get over this gorgeous weekend. I mean, beautiful day yesterday. Same thing today. We're starting to see the temperatures warm up after a nice cool start. It's 51 in Wilson, 57 Durham, 53 in Fayetteville. This gorgeous sunshine is with us all weekend long. Town by town, look at it, 50s. They're 54 in Garner, 58 in Cary. It's 57 in Durham right now. And our pollen forecast will stay high. There's no rain in the forecast until Tuesday. So our pollen numbers will stay high through the weekend and maybe all the way up until Monday. A lot of people have the day off today. Lunchtime temperatures are going to be in the mid-70s. We'll climb into the low 80s this afternoon. With low humidity, it should still feel fairly comfortable out there. But if you're going to be grilling this evening, even at 6 o'clock, it's still 81 degrees. But enjoy. So pretty out there. Michelle?
It is going to be beautiful. Thank you, Elizabeth. Overall, we've seen a pretty quiet morning on the roads. I am still tracking one crash. This crash is happening just south of Garner, a serious one, Rock Quarry Road eastbound near Sunnybrook Road. That one just south of 40, I should say. That one popping up in the last 30 minutes or so. So I'm going to keep an eye on that and see what comes of that. But overall, things looking good. This is a live look US 70 at Cheek Road in Durham. A beautiful sunny commute, Chris.
Does look good. Thanks, Michelle. Durham's former interim police chief is taking issue with the current police chief. Sherry Montgomery filed a lawsuit against Chief Patrice Andrews. She claims Andrews mistreated her before she was fired this month. This stems from feedback during the hiring process for the new chief. Andrews was the candidate, and the city manager asked Montgomery for feedback. Montgomery claims that feedback got back to Andrews, leading to Montgomery's firing last Friday.
The reality is that from the very beginning of Patrice Andrews' tenure, Sherry Montgomery saw responsibilities taken from her that are normally responsibilities of the deputy chief in Durham or one of the deputy chiefs in Durham. She saw one major command taken from her, and she was routinely kept out of key decision-making meetings. And this went on over a period of time.
A spokesperson with the city of Durham says, quote, the city has not received a notice from the Equal Employment Operations Commission regarding Ms. Montgomery's charges and the allegations against the police department. So we cannot comment at this time. 4 people are dead and another is severely injured because a cable car plunged into a ravine in Italy. Authorities say the cable snapped in severe weather. Witnesses say the cable car fell into the valley below and it hit a crane on a construction site. The car that fell had 2 couples and 1 employee aboard. The cableway that was there just reopened last week after renovations. Investigators in Belize are trying to determine why an American citizen hijacked a small plane. They say he stabbed 2 passengers and the pilot. Eventually, one of the passengers shot and killed him. Police say that Akinyela Taylor hijacked the plane with 14 passengers and 2 crew members aboard. The plane circled in the air for nearly 2 hours as the hijacking was happening. Police say Taylor was denied access to Belize over the weekend. Investigators in Minnesota say this surveillance video led to an arrest in a series of vandalism cases involving Teslas. Now, thanks to cameras on the Tesla and local surveillance cameras, Minneapolis police say they made an arrest pretty easy. 6 Tesla vehicles were targeted. The amount of damage caused somewhere around $20,000. A lighting strike is being blamed for a fire that burned the steeple of a century-old church in Minnesota. Look at this. Firefighters in St. Paul say no one was hurt, though. The fire didn't spread to the rest of the church, but authorities say the steeple appears to be structurally unstable after the fire. 2 people who live in the basement of the church have been displaced. A North Carolina agency announced that it had secured the release of a man wrongfully convicted for murder. On the same day, The state Senate voted to eliminate that agency and its funding. That announcement and vote came as part of the Senate's $30 billion budget proposal. The North Carolina Innocence Inquiry Commission is tasked with investigating potential claims of innocence. Republican senators argue nonprofits could better handle the agency's work. The agency's director is pushing back, though.
We have all of the civil and criminal tools available to us to engage in a furtherance of an investigation where the nonprofits meet their dead end.
The State House still needs to put together its own budget. North Carolina's Innocence Commission is the only one of its kind in the United States. A sequel to a classic horror movie, and Glenn Powell is going country. David Daniel has all the details in the Hollywood Minute.
There are many kinds of death. Some are better than others.
Time doesn't always heal. That's clear in the latest trailer for 28 Years Later. After nearly 3 decades, neither the infected nor the survivors are the same. 28 Years Later arrives in theaters June 20th.
It's all thrilling.
Glenn Powell is going country. He's set to star in a comedy for Universal Pictures about a country music star in free fall. Judd Apatow is on board to direct and co-write the script with Powell. The Women's Cancer Research Fund is giving Olivia Munn its Courage Award. She'll be honored at the fund's gala April 28th in Beverly Hills. Munn went public with her bilateral breast cancer diagnosis last year, urging women to advocate for their health. The National Cancer Institute credits the actress with the number of women using a risk assessment tool on its website rising 4,000%. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Election officials in North Carolina are being recognized for their response to Hurricane Helene. A federal commission said the State Board of Elections deserves national recognition. The record-breaking storm hit right in the middle of the 2024 election season. Officials worked hard to reopen the polling places and reach out to voters still recovering. Western North Carolina voters' turnout rate was actually higher than the state average. All right, the big talker, obviously, it's Easter weekend, right? It's going to be a great weekend to get outside, spend some time with the family. And as you're doing that, Elizabeth, people are going to enjoy some sunshine and some warm temperatures.
You know, this time of year, we know it's April. It can do anything. You know, it was a little cooler earlier in the week, but now we're going to see temperatures in the upper 80s, which, you know, is on the other end of, you know, kind of unusual for us. Why is this? It's all because of a shift in our wind direction. A high pressure system is going to help to switch the winds to southerly, and that's what's going to bring us this huge warm up for Easter weekend. And then, of course, the cutest Easter bunny I think I've ever seen, right? It could be the 3rd hottest Easter on record if we hit 88 degrees, which is what our forecast is. We get a slight break from some of that more intense heat by early next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Our next cold front arrives. It'll be our next weather maker that brings us any rain. Here's a live look at downtown, looking down Fayetteville Street here from our Jimmy V camera. A little bit breezy, starting to pick up, but that wind is going to be coming out of the south, so it's not going to be a cold wind. 57 is our temperature right now, 74 at lunchtime, and then we'll climb into the low 80s for today. Today should feel comfortable. Our dew point's way down at 48, so it should feel really good, especially in a shady spot. 51 in Rocky Mount, 54 in Roxborough, 53 in Fayetteville right now, and around the Triangle, it's 56 in Garner, 56 in Knightdale, and 58 degrees in Cary. Around town, highs climb into the low 80s, 83 Durham, Raleigh, and Fayetteville for today with lots of sunshine. We have some exciting news at the Gardens. We are expanding. There's a brand new bridge, and at 12:15, there's a ribbon cutting ceremony. Kat Campbell's going to cut the ribbon on the new section of the garden. Allison Breedlove sent us this beautiful photo. Everything is in full bloom. If you get a chance to come out for the ribbon cutting, you're definitely welcome to be here. WRAL.com/reportit. Send us any of your photos of the gardens or whatever else you're doing. Some of your Easter pictures we'd love to see. High pressure rotating clockwise is pulling up a lot of warmth from the south, and that is what's keeping things so warm. Watch how the arrows start to move much faster later on this afternoon. That's really going to push that warm air right into our area. So our weekend warm up is looking like this: 89 on Saturday, 88 degrees on Sunday. That 89 on Saturday isn't a record. The record's 93. If it's close to it, and the 88 on Sunday would make it the 3rd warmest on record for Easter Sunday. After that, we're checking the next weather maker Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. A front stalls, and it'll bring us a chance of showers and storms.
All right, thanks, Elizabeth. Before we go to break, we do want to show you your winning NC Education lottery numbers. Good luck.